Hello my beautiful butterflies, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Beverley and it is lovely to see you today. In this video we're going to be having a little look and review of Ancestral Grimoire, so grab that cup of tea, let's get to it. Welcome back everyone and Happy New Year. We are in 2023. It's actually New Year's Day. I'm recording this today because I really wanted to be a bit more, I can't think of the word, reliable with my uploads this year. That is my whole thing this year. We're going to try and always be here on a Monday and a Friday, but as always it's going to rely on my health and how I am doing. But yeah, I'm really excited today. We're going to be doing a review of Ancestral Grimoire, and if you've been here a while you will know that working with my ancestors and trying to connect with my ancestors is something that means a lot to me and something that I've done quite a few videos about, so I'll leave a link down below to those so you can go and check those out. But I thought today we would just sit down and have a little chat and go through this book. It's quite a good book and I've got it at the perfect time because it's actually a book that you work through the whole year. So I have not finished this book, but I'm really excited to tell you about it. But before I do, don't forget, if you're new here, you can click the subscribe button to become part of the butterfly family. We would absolutely love to have you. Don't forget to leave me a like and a comment. And also, I now have a Patreon and a Ko-fi account, and both of these you can actually, only £2 a month, you can support me here at the channel. It would help keep my blog going and this channel going. Links to both Ko-fi and Patreon would be down below. If you'd like to check those out, very much appreciated, but no pressure. A like, comment and subscribe is more than enough. Let's get to it, shall we? So this book is the Ancestral Grimoire. Connect with the wisdom of the ancestors through tarot, oracles and magic. Create your personal book of shadows. And what really excited me about this, not only is it just another way of working with my ancestors, it's a way to set up your own grimoire and your own record book of experiences with your ancestors and with your family. And that's something that really excited me and I so wanted to look more into. So what is the actual experience like of working with the Ancestral Grimoire? Now I do need to say straight off the bat, this is not a sponsored video. The author and the publishers did not send me this. I bought it with my own money. Yeah, they don't know I exist, basically. I would love to work with book companies in order to do book reviews, but that is something I think only really available to bigger YouTubers. I just buy my own because I'm trying to keep going as a witch and keep learning, and I think it's so important to keep learning and growing as much as you can as a witch. Don't stagnate in one, you know, I always do this and this and job done. It's important to keep growing, and I talk about that a lot here on the channel as well. Just getting to a point where you feel comfortable and happy is good, but witchcraft isn't really about comfort. It's about learning and growing and becoming that wise person that you always wanted to be. I really enjoyed this book. I flicked through it because a lot of it is working by month with this book. It's not something that you just pick up, read and you're done. It's more the kind of thing where you'll be working on things as you go. So I really liked that about this book. I like that I can set myself up. It's January now and every month I am going to be working with this book. I love that. I love big projects, things that I can do over a long period of time. So I really enjoyed that. The book is written in a very clear and concise way. It's not written in like boring, like academic language. The person who wrote this is obviously very passionate about this subject, and that always excites me about reading books, when the person who wrote it is also excited. So I really would recommend getting this book to read. Also, I really appreciated that the first, I think it's like this, it's set up in parts. So part one is like the things you need and setting up the book. Part two is more of this is what we're going to be doing and this is how we're going to do it, and they actually have a lot of information in there about working with the Wheel of the Year and different ways of working with the tarot cards and just the basics of the different ways that you'll be connecting with your ancestors. And I love that. It means that although this isn't a beginner's book, so to speak, it can be used by beginners. If you are a beginner, it isn't out of your reach. It's something that you can definitely pick up and start working with, because that chapter just explains everything, how you can work with it and how you can improve your skills. And I'm excited about that. It's really good to know that people are making books that are accessible to people of many different levels of ability in the craft. So that's really great. There are a couple of downsides to this book though. I have to be honest, I'm always honest in these reviews, and quite often they're little things, but these are like quite big things, I feel like. And the first is because this book, you need a lot of equipment. It's not just you read the book and whatever you have at hand. There is quite a big list of things that you'll need. So at the beginning, they have here about creating your workbook, and there isn't a workbook that was released at the same time as this that you can use with prompts and things like that, which would be really great. You have to buy a book to work with this book. So I bought this book. I'll leave a link to it down below. It's so pretty because I thought it had like the tree, like a family tree, and it's got animals, and it's just a plain... my hands aren't working. Just a plain lined book, if you can see, but it will look really pretty on my bookcase, and it's just a beautiful book. But again, that was £10. I had to buy that extra, which is good, I suppose, that you can pick whatever calls to you. Like for you, it might just be an exercise book that you have or a notebook that you already own. I bought that because I thought it would go really well. And then the next bit is in your backpack. So these are extra things that you're going to need as well as this book. And you'll see it's quite a list. You'll need a blank book, a beautiful one or rustic one or kitschy one. It's your ancestors, it's your choice. You can divide the book any way you like, although my divisions in part 2 are in calendar months. So you don't have to work with this book over a year, but it does make the most sense as that is the way the book is set up. You need pens and coloured pencils. You may want to sketch your nature journeys or the friends you meet along the way. Number 3, glue. For those moments when you find a photo or a magazine article that feels like it should be included. At least 1 tarot deck. 2 are preferable, more even better. Chapter 5 is crammed with information on choosing a deck, but for right now, pick one you're comfortable with. If the ancestors don't like it, they'll let you know. How? By losing cards, making your shuffles fly all over the room, or spilling your drink on a deck they don't like. Now this is true. I found this when I started working with Hecate. I'd picked out a tarot deck that I already owned to work with her. She didn't like it. I couldn't connect with it. I couldn't get anything from her. And then I spoke to my best friend Kelly, who also works with Hecate, and she told me, oh, I work with her with this deck. And so I had to buy a new deck. And then it wasn't guaranteed that she'd want to work with that deck, but she did. But sometimes you do have to buy 2 or 3 things. So there's a quote here, somebody who's just written to the author. These ancestors are fussy, very specific about the deck I used for them. I was using the Druid craft, but my guides directed me to use Wildwood Tarot. My mother's Italians wanted something more European, so they agreed on a Marseille deck. My dad's mother's family insisted on something more British and refined. They settled on the Rider-Waite-Smith. So you might buy a specific tarot deck thinking this is going to be perfect to work with this book, work with my ancestors, and then find it doesn't connect at all. They don't like it, and so then you've got to buy more and more. That is something that you will find when working with gods and goddesses as well. Deities as well as ancestors are fussy. I mean, they're gods and dead people, so of course they're going to be fussy. But still, then the next thing, cool stuff to decorate your pages. Think washi tape, animal stickers, labels, picture of the family or family cemeteries. Once you begin, you'll figure it out. Then you need 1 or 2 oracle decks as well, a pendulum board. index cards for creating supplementary cards and things to cast, wooden discs, charms, stones, runes, that sort. And that is even before you start actually connecting with your ancestors. You need to have all these things in order to follow this book. And so that's okay for me personally. I have quite a few tarot decks. I've done tarot deck reviews here on the channel. I have runes, I have planetary stones, I have quite a lot of things that I've either thrifted or just bought along the way, because now I've been a witch for what, 4 years, something like that. And so you collect things. But if you come into this as a beginner, you've got to buy all these things. It's not cheap, it's not easy. You might be able to go to like a pound shop or something to find stickers and washi tape and stuff, but even then it soon adds up. This is going to be an expensive thing, and I'm just going to take it out as it is. I've got tarot decks and things, so I'm just going to see how I go for now. But I don't have unlimited resources. Like, I'm a disabled woman who makes no money other than disability benefits, so I don't have a lot of extra money to then spend on all these great big long list of things that the book requires me to have in order to do all the different projects and different exercises that are in the book. So that was something that I definitely thought immediately as soon as I got to that part, was like, oh my goodness, if I didn't have these things already, or if my ancestors don't like any of the tarot decks that I already have, I'm going to have to buy more tarot decks. And then where do we go? Like, then you've got to buy this and then you've got to buy that. It just seems a little bit overwhelming. So bear that in mind. If you don't have a lot of extra money and you don't already have all those things, or you can't make them or find them somewhere, I don't know, then do bear that in mind. And I did mention this second downside before, but I wish there was an official guidebook. I have bought books in the past that then have like a guidebook that you can buy as extra that has like exercises and things in it. And I almost wish that the exercises in the book for each month were an extra workbook. So for example, this would be a little book about working with your ancestors and all the rules and regulations needed for things like going to cemeteries and etiquette for different things. And then you could also buy the actual workbook to work through the year if you wanted to. I think that would have been a better way of doing this, because this way of doing it, where you've got to then buy another book and 2 oracle decks and 2 tarot decks, it's just a lot. And right now people are struggling. They might not have enough money to do that. So that is just something that we need to bear in mind. But yeah, otherwise I really like this book. I would definitely recommend it if you do have a lot of bits and bobs that around the house. Like, I'm a crafter, so I have lots of crafting things around my house that I could scrabble together to make this book what this book wants it to be. Yeah, it's very, very difficult, but it looks an incredible book, and I'm so excited to be reading it just as we turn into a new year, so that I can spend the year with my ancestors, and hopefully by the end of the year have a good relationship with them where I can be working with them more regularly and have more in my arsenal, really. That would be great. And I've forgotten to bring the book that I need to tell you about next. I'll be right back. Okay, I've returned and I have the book here. So next month's book is Hearth and Home Witchcraft, Rituals and Recipes to Nourish Home and Spirit by Jenny Blonde. She's also known as the Comfy Cozy Witch. They have a podcast and an Instagram and everything, so check them out. But this book I pre-ordered a while ago, and I'm so excited to read this book. This is the kind of magic that I want to be doing. Magic to keep my home nice and to look after my home. And this is the kind of thing that I've been stepping into recently, is this kind of using magic to look after your home. It's something that really calls to me. So I am really excited for that. So links to both the book for next month and this wonderful Ancestral Grimoire will be down below. So if you want to read with me and let me know what you think of Hearth and Home. You can do down below in the description. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to head down below and leave it a cheeky little like so I know that you enjoyed it and I can bring more like this to the channel in future. Definitely as well leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of these books. Will you be reading this book along with me? And what did you think of this book if you've already read it? Or are you thinking of reading it? Or have I changed your mind with my review? It was a very mixed review this month. It's very unlike me. I'm usually raving about all the books that I read. So let me know all your thoughts and feelings down below. I absolutely love talking to each and every one of you. And last but certainly not least, if you like my content and you like my face, don't forget to head down below, click that subscribe button, ring that little bell so you always know when I upload. I'm usually here Mondays and Fridays, my health permitting. I always do my very best to be here with you every week, twice a week. Take care everyone, happy new year, have a lovely week and I will see you in the next video. Bye.